Hello there folks, and welcome back to another speed paint video. This time I've got something pretty special for you guys. A whole lot of you decided to subscribe to the channel after my art fight video a few weeks ago, and now there are over 2,000 of you on here. At the time of recording there's actually about 2,300, which is completely crazy. There's probably even more of you by the time you're watching this. Thank you all so much! I thought I would host a 2,000 subscriber special, so I had a little vote to decide what it was going to be. And by maybe just 1 or 2 votes, the Weird Eeveelutions won. Don't worry, I'll do the other video that almost won later, it just won't be titled like the 2K special or something. So I made a community post and you guys gave me some cool types to turn into various Eeveelutions. And I picked 4 of them and made some really cool art. So without further ado, let's get into the speed paint. The first type we have here is Plush, and this one was pretty fun to do. I was a little bit inspired by the Plush brush from the Brush Week challenge back in December, as well as, you know, just the toy brushes in general from Neopets as a whole. The color palette in particular is inspired by a Neopets keychain I used to have as a kid that probably exists somewhere in my family's basement, I don't know. But basically this is a very warm, patchwork, quilty sort of Eeveelution with big floppy ears that are so heavy with stuffing that they're flopping down, which is pretty different from the usual silhouette we give these guys. It's got a big, like, neck fluff to kind of mimic Eevee's thing, but it's got a very different texture than Eevee's more organic fluff that actually looks like fur. This one is very obviously like a pillow that has been sewn onto it. Its tail is busted open with a whole bunch of stuffing leaking out. And overall, I just wanted this thing to feel like a very well-loved plush that has seen lots and lots of repairs over the years. I feel like maybe the evolution method for this guy would be something like, I don't know, maybe you heal it some amount of times, or like you give it a toy to play with, I don't know. There's something here. I wanted to really make this thing feel like it could be a plush that you can imagine what it might have looked like when it was still brand new, but it's kind of been reborn in how much it's been loved over the years, as what happens with a lot of old plushes. I certainly have a lot of old plushes in my house that are very much, like, different than when they were first made, for sure, but part of their age and how well they've been loved gives them a lot of character, so I really wanted to embody that with this Plush Eeveelution design. I think it came out pretty cute, I'm very pleased with it, and yeah, it was just very fun to play with these colors, play with these textures, draw lots and lots of stitches on this thing to really make it feel like it's been hand-sewn, like it's been, like, repaired over the years. It's kind of like the Eeveelution of Theseus in that way. It probably has very few of its original parts left, but it's been well loved and it has good character. I think it's a good-natured creature. I was a little tempting to do something slightly creepy for this one, but I really wanted to lean into something very cute. A bit inspired by the Velveteen Rabbit. That was kind of the idea I had in my head while I was working on this. And it was really just a lot of fun to do. It was pretty involved doing all the coloring for the line art, especially with all the stitches and stuff. But I had a lot of fun with it. I think it turned out super cute, so thanks for suggesting the plush type. Next up is a type I actually did several years ago when I was first doing fake Eeveelutions, and that is the Angelic type, so I was very happy to see this one get suggested. This one's very different from the one I made all those years ago, and I honestly don't even know where the original art is I made for the one a long time ago. I'm not even sure I ever posted it, so I guess if you remember it, let me know, but basically this one takes a very, like, fun and stylized angelic approach. It's a little bit inspired by, like, weirdcore art, which has a lot of, like, semi-angelic type characters with, like, prominent eyes or wings or other, like, surrealism sort of things. But I still wanted it to feel very benevolent. It just feels a little otherworldly in a way that isn't quite alien, isn't quite human, and was a little bit somewhere weird. I don't know. That's kind of what I think is interesting about angels, is their otherworldliness, and yet also, like, their benevolence is very interesting to me. So I thought it'd be fun to play with the idea of, like, gold and sky colors, so it's got, like, white and blue for the sky, lots of gold accents. If you watched my Flygon video recently, you know I love working with rendering gold. Gold has a very interesting trait when you shade it, that it tends to have warmer shadows as opposed to cooler shadows. So it has a very interesting look compared to other metals or other materials. So I really wanted to lean into that for this one. It really makes it feel like otherworldly, since usually metallic accents aren't on creatures, especially very mammalian creatures. So taking an Eeveelution and giving it these various metallic accents really gives it an extra flair that is pretty unique among the family. It's got a little halo, because of course it does, that's so classic. Its ears are inspired by a very common thing I see in angelic humanoid designs, where the ears look like little wings. I think that's super cute. It's a character design trait that I very rarely have used, but I think it's adorable, so I thought I would totally lean into that for this. Its neck fluff is kind of inspired by like the classic Greco-Roman like toga, something like that, because that's usually how like a lot of Christian angels are depicted, as wearing something similar to that. But I also wanted it to feel like it's kind of like a big scarf, where like it's got like fluffy wings, like really emphasizing the wing element without actually giving this thing any extra limbs. Because I think that helps keep it true to the general form of an Eeveelution by keeping its body plan mostly the same. But by including these kinds of shapes and these colors, it still makes it feel very clear that it is angelically inspired. It's got little accents that are gold on its paws to make it feel like it's wearing gloves or shoes or sandals or something. It's got big blue eyes that are just shining with like the deepness of the blue of the sky or the sea. It's just a very cool, very cute little Eeveelution. Also, it's got a little white nose, which I thought would be kind of cute and very different from other Eeveelutions. Usually they have dark noses, but I thought it'd be fun to give this guy a little white nose. I just thought it'd be cute. So yeah, thank you for suggesting this angelic type. It was very fun to revisit this idea. I haven't come to it in quite a while. And I'm very pleased with how this design came out. I think it came out super cool, very otherworldly, and very cute. Next up is the cactus type, and this one was very fun to do. I was a little torn at the beginning of what sort of cactus I wanted to do, since there are a lot of different cactus species, but I ended up settling on the prickly pear. One, because it's a cactus species I am personally familiar with, I have seen them in real life a decent amount of times, and I thought that the shapes of the prickly pear, where it's got a lot of these like oval-shaped leaves, lent themselves well to being building blocks for an Eeveelution design. It would make good shape for the tail, the ears, and all that other stuff. I gave it extra big chunky paws to kind of look like the big round leaves of the prickly pear. Overall, just really leaning into that prickly pear aesthetic to give it a more specific cactus aesthetic than just the generalized cartoonish cactus. I had a lot of fun just making this thing super green. I tried to incorporate as many like sharp prickly edges as I could. Instead of being just like triangular in design like a blade, this one's got a very round design with lots of sharp little edges here and there, which I feel like is more classically cactus-like as opposed to something that would just be like a knife, for example. Balancing the round and the sharp is kind of what makes a cactus interesting to me, so I thought it'd be fun to really lean into that. It's got these little eye accents that are supposed to kind of resemble cactus needles and how they're usually a lighter color than the rest of the plant. It's also got a lot of flowers as accents, because of course, cactuses, they do flower, and when they do, it's actually super cute. So this flower is very much inspired by the flower of the prickly pear cactus, and it's got one on its head, as many Eeveelutions usually have an accent somewhere on their forehead, and of course around its neck, since, again, many Eeveelutions also have something in that area as well. Plus it gives it a little bit of a pop of color, so it's not too monochromatic throughout the entire design. Like, this thing isn't just green, it's also got a fun complementary color to it, with the orange and pink and yellows going on in that warm accent. And also I gave it nice little sharp fangs to really emphasize more of that like sharp aesthetic. It's a very mischievous, pointy creature that probably loves rubbing up against you like on your leg like a cat, and it probably hurts real bad when it does that, and it probably knows that it does that and it hurts, but it doesn't care because it likes doing it anyway. I don't know, I just had a lot of fun with this guy. Once I figured out what species of cactus I was leaning to, it felt like all the pieces just fell into place, into making this design very cohesive, very fun. And I think it's a very fun spin. It definitely is very different from Leafeon, the grass-type Eeveelution that's actually canon to Pokemon. This cactus type one is super cute, very different, and very, very mischievous, in a way that I think is very, very delightful. The last one's going to be Scribe, and this one, I wanted to, like, do something very inspired by the different elements of the idea of Scribe, so it's got a couple elements like a fountain pen and ink and like a scroll, all of that together, putting together something that feels like kind of ancient, since like, obviously like, a more modern term you would probably use is like a writer or like an author or something, but Scribe kind of feels antiquated, at least to me. Like, you don't hear a lot of people calling themselves scribes nowadays. Usually they use some other synonym for it. Scribe feels kind of old, so I kind of wanted to lean into like this older way of writing. So of course it's got the fountain pen. Its fountain pen tail is really cute. I made its ears kind of look like the pen nib for a fountain pen because I felt they were the closest to like an ear-shaped thing when it comes to like writing with ink. Its body is primarily like this off-white color, like old paper was sort of the vibe I was going for. And one of its paws has a marking of ink on it to make it feel like that's its dominant writing paw, like it's always got ink on it. I know whenever I use ink for like drawing or painting or something, I usually get it all over my hands, so I thought that would be a fun way to call to that honestness of how messy the process of working with ink can be. Its neck accent is a bunch of loose ink just like floating around because I thought that would be kind of a cool way to add another texture to it. And it has all sorts of like letter-like markings on its body that aren't necessarily supposed to be specific letters, but I tried to make them vaguely in the shapes of the letters from Pokemon, but it goes kind of from bottom to top instead of from top to bottom. So if you're looking for it, you can see that that's what I was doing for it there. That gave me at least a little direction for the shapes instead of just going in blind and drawing random abstract stuff. But it definitely is foreign enough, like from an actual like English alphabet, that it like looks abstract enough to look like an animal's pattern, but it's also recognizably lettery enough to feel right for the scribe design. So this one definitely combined a lot of different elements all together. I feel like it looks like it would be the companion for like some old person like writing down records in an ancient civilization. I don't know, that's just kind of the vibe I get with this scribe themed design. I just feel like it would be at home in a lot of like historical places. It would definitely be at home anywhere where you need to be writing or drawing. I think it's a very cool creature. It probably smells like pen ink too, and I had a lot of fun with this one. It was a little bit more challenging than some of the other designs for this video, but I had a lot of fun with it. It was very fun playing with the shapes and finding ways to justify them in the context of an animal or a creature, and this scribe themed evolution just came out super cute, and I am really happy with it. And with that, those are all the Eeveelutions I've got for this video, so thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, by the way, to everyone who subscribed or suggested a type or anything. Thank you all for supporting the channel in all the different ways you guys have done so far. All of your comments, your likes, your ideas and comments on my various community posts and videos, like, I appreciate every single bit of it. To know that I'm not just like putting videos out into the void, but that they are in fact reaching people and that they are helping people with their art or motivating them or just making their day a little better is very cool and validating to see, and I'm very happy that my videos are helping all of you. So thank you all again so much for 2,000 subscribers. I will have another video for you guys with Gilbert the Snake at some point, because that was a very close vote for what the special was going to be, I promise. Thank you to my Ko-fi members, as always, for making these videos possible. My Ko-fi members help make my income a little bit more stable and help me get closer to my dream of becoming a full-time artist, so sincerely to every single one of you, thank you all so much. If you want, you can join them through the description in my Ko-fi link. You can go check it out there. You can become a member for as little as $1 a month. I'm trying to reach 100 members before the end of 2026, so even if you join at just the $1 tier, like, it really does help push forward to that goal. So yeah, thank you for considering supporting over there. By the way, if you like these Eeveelution designs, they are actually all going to be available in one zine, not just from this video, but from the other 2 Weird Eevee videos as well. That's going to be a zine on my Ko-fi page, and hopefully my VGen as well. I'll have uploaded it there. So if you want these in nice high res for you to look at, or use as wallpapers, or something like that, go ahead and check it out. These designs are also going to be available on my ACG goods store as charms and stickers and stuff, so if you like them and you want to get them on some physical merch for you to carry around, go ahead and check that out in the store there, and maybe I'll also print them for shows that I do in person as well. I'm going to be at quite a few in-person events this summer, so here's like a little list of what all of them are, where they're going to be and stuff. I'm going to be quite busy. I can't talk about all these individually or else we'll be here in this plug section forever. But if you happen to be in any of these areas during these events, please consider coming to them and saying hi. I'd love to meet you guys. I'd love to see you there. And if you want to get like stickers or charms or pins or something, come visit, come say hi, come buy something, you know, it would be really cool to see all of you there. And with that, I think that's all I've got for you guys, so thank you all so much again for watching this video. Thank you all again for 2,000 subscribers. It is totally unreal that there are so many of you here. It's like truly insane. I've been able to actually monetize my YouTube videos now, and I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to like really making a living off of my art, and it's all thanks to all of your support. So thank you guys again so much. I hope to see you guys again next week with another video, and in the meantime, why don't you all go out there and make some art.